Hello, Blizzard fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is BorN versus Fuse on Fighting Spirit, and this is Starbow. Now, BorN is a Starbow caster that I cast with. The last Starbow tournament that I cast, Saturday Starbow number 2. And I linked a whole bunch of those replays on my Twitter feed, Falcon Paladin. So it's really easy to find. And look those up if you have a chance, because Starbow was really fun to cast, and I had a really good time. BorN seems like a great guy. In the top left of Fighting Spirit, we have the blue Protoss player. It is BorN. Fuse saying, this matchup has been the easiest for me to pick up since the first day I played. Probably has a lot to do with the tanks. They are very good. BorN saying, I don't need you to patronize me. Alright, says Fuse. In the bottom left, we have the red-orange player. It is Fuse. Kind of see where BorN's coming from there, but I guess Fuse just decided to keep his mouth shut. So here we come with the probe, scouting around on the left side, gonna see what's going on. BorN saying he needs to replace his mouse after this. Apparently mouse is giving him some kind of trouble. Probe harass trying to kill this SCV, doing a pretty good job of it. Might actually get it. Is he gonna kill it? Yes, kills the SCV, delays the building of the barracks just a couple seconds. That's really all you need sometimes in Starbow. I guess in StarCraft in general, if two players are that evenly matched, delaying something like that can be really big in the long run of things. This SCV scouting around, trying to find where on earth BorN is, scouting the wrong direction though, not going to find him over there. The probe being super annoying, getting a full scout off on everything that is going on. The Marine is out. That should be the end of this probe shenanigans, and yes it is. The probe ends up getting dead. The Marine is very happy about his kill. Here comes the second command center being built on the low ground, and a Zealot coming out for some harassment, chrono boosting out that Zealot. Is it called chrono boost? It is called chrono boost. Coming on out, the Zealot trying to see what he can do, and he's gonna try to kill, actually does manage to kill a Marine. The Marine is not microed super well. We're gonna get, nope, can't get an SCV though. Getting this SCV who's trying to build the command center, running as fast as he possibly can, and using some SCVs as a shield for the Marine to actually be able to kill that Zealot. And yes, the Zealot backs on up with very low health. A second, oh no, a Dragoon coming on out. So two Zealots and a Dragoon. We're going to slow things down. This is actually getting fairly exciting at this point. Getting the SCV who's building the command center. No, just kidding. Maybe he did. This guy came on in. That Dragoon is here now and he can outrange everything. No, the Marines get inside the bunker. Gonna try to snipe down the Dragoon. BorN thinks about attacking the bunker, then decides better of it. Comes down to the bottom side of the command center, trying to bypass that bunker entirely. Trying to get up the strand. Gonna be able to do it because Zealots do a good job against SCVs. Good micro here from Fuse, hopping back in and out of the bunker. The Dragoon doesn't do a whole lot of damage to Marines. It actually does 10 damage versus light, which is not great, but the range is nice nonetheless. The Zealots get right on in here into the mineral line. BorN doing a great job harassing with just these two Zealots. One of them has 2 kills. The other Zealot here has 6 kills. That is a hero Zealot for sure. Gonna try to do what they can. This Marine trying to kill everything, bringing up actually 2 of his friends. This might be the end of it. But no, the Zealot manages to get one of the Marines. That is a huge pickup. It does end up evaporating. That Dragoon dies as well. This poor Zealot gets kind of caught by those SCVs at the same time. So BorN's harassment actually pretty darn effective. Another Dragoon coming on in, trying to get some pot shots off on this bunker before Marines hop on into it and start defending it, but I don't think we're actually going to get down to burning or anything. No, going to have to back out, or unless the surround happens. Oh, the surround happens on the Dragoon. The SCV is helping. The Dragoon does explode, gushing blue blood as it dies. The second life of that Zealot has ended. Getting a second Nexus, though, is BorN. Are we getting a third Nexus as well? Looks like he's saving up the minerals. He is close to 400, so all right. Being very gutsy in this particular situation. Robo Facility, more gateways coming on down. What is the composition going to be for BorN? We'll have to wait and see. It looks like Fuse has kind of been stuck on Marine technology for a while. All he has is a barracks, and he hasn't actually made any fire bats or anything because he doesn't have a tech lab, which is a problem. Now making a factory, so not actually particularly interested in making any of those fire bats. Fire bats do really well against Zealots. I remember, at least they should. Remember in Brood War that fire bats in bunkers like melted Zealots like you would not believe. Oh, the Dragoons have their range upgrade. Range 6. They actually outrange this bunker. That is huge. The SCV is coming in on to repair. The Dragoon's doing a lot of damage. Whoa, don't get too close though. There we go. Outranging the bunker. This is a crazy difference in Starbow. And the DPS being done on this is actually enough to burn it down, I think. No, not with 3 SCVs fully repairing. I think the SCVs are out repairing the damage that is happening, but not with a third Dragoon here, pulling another SCV to just to try to deal with having another Dragoon there to compensate. But a fourth Dragoon comes up. More SCVs are being forced to be pulled off the line. And can they save it? Man, it looks like a stalemate. Trying to snipe down some of these SCVs, make it a little bit easier to kill this bunker, but more SCVs come off the line. Fuse... Fuse microing pretty darn well, but again, BorN is not really losing anything here. A lot of minerals are going in to repair this bunker. This is a lot of lost mining time for Hughes. This harassment, I'd have to say, is really benefiting BorN quite a bit. The damage on these guys, what do they do versus buildings? What the heck is a building? I don't know. Either way, it looks like they do more damage than just the 10 that they do to light. More SCVs coming up, killing one. Okay, so basically this number of Dragoons can one-shot an SCV, but I think they all have to hit. Here we go. The timing is good, and yes, they do take down the bunker. They kill one of the Marines. They're chasing down the other Marines. They take another one down, but here comes the tank. Tanks do a great job against Dragoons. I'm not sure if they do super well if they're this well outnumbered, but yeah, chasing it down, getting some shots off. Are we actually going to kill the tank? Ooh, one more hit, and no, can't quite get it. The tank doesn't have any kills, but the SCVs are trying to get surrounds on these Dragoons. A lot of SCVs are dying left and right. 20 SCVs have died. BorN is playing super well in this match. Not really making any probes. Something of an all-in at this point, I'd have to say. It does have 29, but chrono boosting more and more Dragoons out. Just going for as many as he possibly can. If he can get this command center, that would be massive. This siege tank has been repaired. It's going to get some shots off. The Dragoons coming right on in, and they do manage to kill one of the tanks. The second tank at the top of the ramp, though, actually manages to kill one of the Dragoons. Has 3 kills now. Almost 4. That Dragoon down to 1 hit point. The shield's now regenerating, but yeah. Do they do extra damage versus armored? Is that what this is? Explosive damage 100% versus armored units. Okay, so that's pretty good. They do extra damage against tanks, but man, tanks do a ton of damage as well. 70 damage. Yeah, I think they do full 70 against Dragoons. They only have 80 hit points and 100 or 80 shield points and 100 shields, 100 armor. I guess that's officially what it's called. So here we go. Third base coming up for BorN. Is he, yeah, actually getting an observatory and making a warp prism as well. Some warp prism harassment maybe on the way. Warp prism drops with Reavers, if you can control it well enough, is a really fantastic strategy to use against Terran. Oh, that tank, oh, manages to just get out range of that tank. That Dragoon does not want to die today. We have Mules coming on down for Fuse, bringing a lot of SCs over from the main to the natural. It's 32 to 30 harvesters. So right now, Fuse is actually up. He's lost a lot of SCVs, but I think BorN cut a lot of probes to make this work. So that's why we're on even footing. The tank's doing a bit of a siege, push forward, trying to see what they can find. And yeah, sieging up just almost in range of that one right foot of that Dragoon, but basically BorN just holding a contain here. It's a bit of a soft contain. He wants to be able to macro up, get his third pays up, and be very happy about that, because 3 bases in comparison to the 2 bases for the Terran is a pretty darn good position to be in. What do we have over here? Some more Dragoons looking for maybe a drop, watching for drops coming up that left side. What are we doing? Another factory. So going to go a bit of a mech play. Again, kind of reminds me of Brood War. PVTs were basically mech against Dragoons. You had Spider-Mans, tanks, you had Goliaths as well. Pretty fun matches between pro players. But here we go. BorN just pretty much going Dragoons right now. Is that what he's doing? Does he have upgrades for these guys at all? No, I don't even think he has a forge. Getting another observer. Where is that warp prism, and what is he doing with it is my question. Units tab, warp prism, just kind of hanging out right here, no big deal. So no Reaver in production. The warp prisms are best, I think, when they're shuttling Reavers around. Reavers are slow, and warp prisms do a good job kind of negating that disadvantage that Reavers have. And that's been something that's been around since early days in StarCraft 1 vanilla, like back when I was 14 years old, and I am old, so don't mind me. Trying to get some friendly splash damage on this tank, and actually we're going to take it down. Yeah. 1 Zealot, 1 Dragoon. No, saves the Zealot, actually. 1 Dragoon for 1 tank is a pretty darn good fair trade, I'd have to say. Gonna try that again. I think the Warp Prism's gonna try to drop on top of one of these tanks, draw the friendly fire, because siege tanks do splash damage, and try to get the tanks to kill their buddy at the same time. So here we come in, but there are missile turrets. Yeah, they do a lot of damage to Warp Prisms. Yikes. Already onto the armor there. Did we drop? No. BorN says my graphics card is fooling him in some way. I don't know. The observer's here. I think that missile turret's in range of that observer. Yeah, get on out. The observer does decide to move the heck out of there. Orbital command is up. It's 41 to 42 harvesters. Both players pretty much making workers as best they can. Are we just really going to stick on Dragoon's Zealot BorN? Is that the plan here today? Researching the gravitic boosters, increasing the speed of the observers. That can be pretty darn nice as well. And actually making... Did I just see some Goliaths in that production tab? Where are we? Here we are, Goliaths. I love these guys. They can shoot ground, they can shoot air. They're pretty much mech warrior type units. They just look great. I kind of missed them in StarCraft 2. I'm glad they're here in Starbow. Vultures as well. They are pretty fun with their spider mines. So let's see. Deploy a hidden spider mine at a targeted location. And when enemy ground units pass nearby, the spider mine will detonate and deal 125 explosive damage to ground units within a large area. Again, it shows... What is it? The damage, the range, melee. Again, I want to see how close you actually have to get to a Spider-Man before it detonates. I'll have to pay attention to that throughout this replay. Here comes, there we go, bringing in, here comes the Warp Prism. Trying to bring in more Zealots, but no, there are missile turrets everywhere. Trying to shut this guy down. There's really not a gap. Gonna try to land there, but nope. Taking some pot shots again. Tries to get the heck out of there. Escape. Escape, Warp Prism. Regenerate your shields. I think maybe this is a spot you could land. Man, I think it's pretty well covered, though, the missile turrets, I think. Covering everything here. Well placed by Fuse, for sure. So here we go. We're using the standard mech play of tanks, Goliaths, Vultures, and their spider mines. Gonna start making a push, and I think we need more than Dragoons and Zealots to make this work. Possibly not. Leg enhancements coming up. Faster Zealots are good against tanks. They can run in and close the distance, and actually getting a Templar Archives for that Storm. Storm can be pretty good as well. Scan checking out the potential third base for Fuse. Recognizes there are some Dragoons here. Dragoons, I think, actually are terrible versus... actually, they're good, sorry, against Goliaths. But more and more tanks coming up. All of these Dragoons are slowly getting whittled down, but they're taking units with them, that's for sure. They are not going to die without a fight. Finally, it takes most of the army of Fuse to get through those guys. How are the upgrades now? Still no upgrades. I think the forge is just about finished. Where is that forge? Where did he place it is my question. And here they are, 2 forges on this back ramp, just to make sure nobody can run up here and cause problems at that third base. BorN doing a good job covering the backside. And here we go, siege tanks up and ready to go. Goliaths as well. What are we dropping here? SCVs. Oh, can I do an SCV drop? Training SCVs, dropping SCVs. I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, call down SCV. Drops a permanent SCV at the target location. Huh, that's pretty cool. So overcharge, scanner sweep. I think we talked about these already, but pretty fun stuff. So the Dragoons, again, with their counter, the Vultures go right bypassing them. They're going to try to go up to this third base, which they know exists by now. Dragoons trying to get in there, but man, this tank fire is just so damaging. The Dragoons cannot make any headway into this area. I don't think they get up here either. This is just super locked down for Fuse. Even Zealots to try to come up and try to kill the siege tanks are going to have to get through the supply depots first, and that's not something that you want to do. The Vultures not actually going to the third base. I'm not sure they can squeeze through that tiny little area. They're going to deploy some spider mines, though, here, and here come the Dragoons. How close do we have to get? Oh, man, it's almost right on top of it. Okay, so Vultures trying to do what they can to get into that natural. Not going to happen. Trying to get on into the main. Trying to block it with that Dragoons. Oh, good block. Managing to block most of them. This guy gets through but decides to turn around and try to kill the Dragoons instead of trying to kill workers, and he pays for his mistake and gets cleaned up. So good response time there from BorN, managing to deal with that. A little bit of Vulture harass. That was actually a lot of Vultures. How many got killed there? 9 total Vultures are dead. 10 Vultures are now dead. We have a Spider-Man at a potential fourth base for BorN, and another one here. Doing a good job keeping an eye on things. A bit of a forward-backward pylon there for BorN as well. 50 to 58 Harvesters is what we're looking at this very moment. A call down with a Mule. That one's not an SCV. More and more missile turrets coming up. Fuse is really worried about drops, and I don't think he has to once those turrets are ready to go. Observers trying to scan for those spider mines, because the Dragoons do outrange the spider mines, but they need to be able to see them, and observers do help with that because spider mines are invisible. They are cloaked. Does it say that here? It does not, but trust me, you can't see them if you are the Protoss player. I guess with an observer you can, but like this one over here can't see it. Right there it is. Alright, so just making sure. So Dragoons, do we have any upgrades yet? No. Are we upgrading upgrades? Yes. Just about to finish ground weapons level 1 and ground armor level 1, and stasis field being researched. Arbiters! Hey! We haven't seen these in any of the games that I have cast. Let's see what the attributes on the Arbiter are. Cloaks nearby units. Yep. Can use stasis field and recall, so pretty much the same as they are in Brood War. So Stasis Field is pretty much the same thing as Stasis Ward in Legacy of the Void. It basically calls an instant cast on a bunch of units, makes them invulnerable but unable to attack either. So you can kind of half the army for your enemy, Put them in stasis for about, how long does stasis ward last? I'm not entirely sure. Do we have an arbiter yet? No. I think it was about 60 seconds, and kind of clean up half their army and then wait for the rest of the stasis units to come back and clean them up. It was a good way to kind of split opposing armies in half. It was really powerful at the pro level. Let's take a look and see how long it lasts. Come on, Adept. Pop on out, Adept. You can do this thing here at the 23-minute mark. There we go. Stasis field lasts 40 seconds. Okay, yep, cannot attack, move, or use any abilities and are immune to damage. They do cloak nearby units. Recall lets to teleport units to the Arbiter. So, basically, the Arbiter can kind of sit back at home. I don't know if you want him there necessarily, but if he is there, you can teleport units from here all the way back if you need to retreat. If you find yourself in a very difficult position, that is something you can do. This Vulture trying to take down the Nexus all by itself, that is never going to happen. It does 5 damage versus armored. I don't even know what kind of damage it does versus buildings, but it's not very good. These Vultures need to be very careful, losing a couple just by extending a little bit too far into this giant Dragoon and Zealot army. The Arbiters, are they going to be used for that defense or for offense? Noticing cloaking the units as they move on by. Pretty fun stuff. Passive ability cloaks units nearby the Arbiter, kind of like the Mothership in that capacity. Actually taking down a Dragoon there is this small group of Vultures up to +1 attacks, so that's pretty good. 22 damage versus armored 7 versus medium 12. So against light you get that full 22. Moving up, spider mines are just planted everywhere across the middle. I think you can actually plant a command center or a nexus here and harvest from both sides. That's something I don't think we've ever seen on a map in StarCraft 2, so pretty fun stuff. If anyone can actually take this, it's just really vulnerable. It's kind of hard to manage both of these wide open chokes. I think that's why no one has taken it yet. No one has taken it on any of the Starbow casts that I've done on Fighting Spirit, so we'll have to see if that ever happens one day. I'll make a celebration of it, to be sure. We're going to walk through here. Are we going to walk through this minefield? Dragoons? No. Oh, they're on attack move, thank goodness. And they have the Observer. That's nice. Observer, wait. Observer, wait, there we go. Second Observer comes in to help out with clearing all of these spider mines. One does come up and actually detonate. 2 detonate on a Zealot and can't kill it, interestingly enough. So 2 Widow Mine detonations cannot kill a Zealot, but these Vultures doing a lot of damage to those Zealots. They're pretty much the counter to the Zealots. The Zealots are fast, though. They are running fast with their extra legs, but running into a bunch of tanks is not a good way to survive. Trying to clear out more of these or try to get some more of those spider mines. I don't know. I do not know what to expect. What is that? 4th base for BorN is up now. 3 bases still for Fuse. So BorN is up on bases. He has a lot of money in the bank. Both players actually have a lot of money in the bank. They're both basically maxed out. Oh, huge spider mine hits. Catching a few things unnecessarily, I think. Where's the Observer? I don't know, but actually Science Vessel up as well. What can we do with the Science Vessel? EMP? Yeah. EMP takes down the shields on all these Protoss players. All these Protoss units, making them that much more squishy. Are we going to actually kill the Observer? The Goliaths want to, and yes, one more shot from that missile cannon. What's it actually called? Hellfire Missiles does take down the Observer, pushing on up. So this is exactly what I remember from watching Bird War replays from back in the day. Dragoons and Zealots with an Arbiter against tanks and Goliaths and Vultures. Pretty good composition for both players. So zooming on out, there's a pretty big battle here. The Zealots running up, trying to draw some of that tank fire, and no. BorN says, I'm not going to attack into that position. That is dangerous. Taking a bit of a ninja here, 5th base. Is BorN right along the right side. Are we floating a command center? No, floating an engineering bay. I guess just for scouting purposes. I do not know. How are the upgrades doing? +1, +1, +2 on the way, as well as the Kadiran Core, which I think allows... What is that? Is the upgrade Kadiran Core, Kadiran Amulet, I think is for the Templar. I don't know what Kadiran Core is. Maybe extra spell for the Arbiter. But here we come. There we go. Stasis going down on that group of Zealots, but I'm still not sure it is enough. This is an amazing tank spread right now from Fuse, pushing right on up the middle here, trying to do what it can to do a lot of damage. And yes, setting up right here a good position to actually threaten the 2nd base while preventing the Protoss army from getting through. But actually BorN says we're gonna go for it, heading right on up with his Dragoons and his Zealots from the top side. Actually doing a pretty good job. There are a lot of tanks left. The Goliaths coming to support, taking down those Observers one by one, killing every single one of them. All the Dragoons are dead as well. Goliaths pushing forward, pushing the advantage. Zealots have been warped in, but they are getting melted by these tanks and these Goliaths. Doing a pretty good job here at the front lines, but I'm just not sure there are enough, especially with the siege tanks at the back blowing through those, wow, all those units at the front as well. Is there anything in production at all? Yes, more Dragoons coming out, but I think this is a pretty scary spot for BorN. The army is at your front door. This is not what you want to see from Mech. The siege tanks sitting back, doing what they can, trying to zone things out and scooting up just a little bit closer. If we can kill the main, that would be huge for Fuse. Sitting at the top of the ramp are these Dragoons and these Zealots, but the tanks at the low ground say, if we can see you, we can kill you. And here we go. Splash damaging everything that comes right on down. The Zealots come down by themselves. Vultures coming in to help clean that up. Spot on the high ground as well. There are just a few Dragoons left. They are getting killed as they move slightly into tank range. It is currently 71 to 144 supply. Fuse feeling really good. Moving up constant reinforcements. Tanks coming across the field as well. BorN saying, this is so sad. As he gives out a laugh there. Gateways falling left and right. I think the main is pretty much under lockdown for BorN. Are we going to try to push up is the question. These tanks seem to be content to sit on hold position and just wait for any units to try to come deal with them. Holding that high ground is the science vessel, but no, BorN leaves the game. Fuse is victorious, and that is Starbow. Whew, pretty crazy game there. It was good to see that Mech versus Dragoon Zealot thing that I saw so long ago. Either way, this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Blizzard upload. If you like what you saw today, if you like what you heard, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. You can also catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.